Alright, this is my 96 Geo Prizm. This is kind of like going to be another how-to video. I've noticed that my brakes, every time that I'm slowing down, they start to, pulse. Like, I think I have warped rotors. Well, actually, in fact, I know I have warped rotors. So, today I'm going to be changing the rotors on the front. These are just stock factory replacements through AC Delco. I got them off Amazon. I think it was like 35, 40 bucks for both of them, which really is not that bad at all. RockAuto.com was cheaper, but shipping was also like more expensive. So, but Amazon, it was like, yeah, 45 bucks, free 2-day shipping with Prime, of course. All right, so first step, obviously, remove the wheel. All right, now that the wheel's off, next step is going to be to remove the brake caliper. These actually comes in 2 parts. First ones we want to remove are these smaller ones here. There's one there, one down there. That is a 14 millimeter for both those. And after those, we'll remove the actual bracket, which is a 17 millimeter. There's one there and one at the bottom there too. Yeah, right there. So let's remove the 14 millimeter bolts and the caliper first. All right, with those 2 14 millimeter bolts out, then you can take your brake caliper. You can either hang it up with some wire, or I use these tongues here. You can also just kind of tuck them up, and they'll grab onto your strut, so they're out of the way. That way you're not putting any pressure on the brake line and ripping it off. All right, so after those are out, this bolt right here and the bottom one there, the 2 17 millimeter bolts, and then the actual brake caliper mounting bracket will come off along with the brake pads. After that, you can just take off the the rotor. Sorry, brain fart. All right, after then you get the 2 17 millimeter bolts out. This bracket just comes off. You can just kind of set that aside. Just so you can see. Delay a little bit. Then that's really all that holds the rotor in. It just holds it on the actual studs. So then you can take off your rotor. This one doesn't look that old, but it's probably a cheap off-brand. So that's probably why they're not that old, but they're already warped. So we're gonna replace them, obviously, like I said, with AC Delco. That's factory replacement. So it should be quality rotor and actually lasts more than a few years. Alright, then once you put on the new rotor, well, first make sure in the packaging, if it says that it's been oiled, make sure you wipe off the rotor surface, with like a clean rag or towel or whatever, just to get all the oil. That's just to keep it from rusting during packaging. After you put that on, you put the brake caliper mounting bracket on with the 2 17 millimeter bolts. Now, the brake pads that are on it, they're actually basically still brand new. They're just dirty. So I didn't really have to do much to make them fit back on. But sometimes when you put new calipers on, they're a lot thicker than the old ones that were on it. And if that's the case, your caliper, you might have to get a C-clamp and push the cylinder back into the brake caliper. That way you can get the caliper back over your brake pads. I didn't have to do that, but you actually might have to do that. It all just depends. Like I said, my brake pads, they're still basically new. And the rotors, they're still basically the same thickness, so I didn't have to. Toyota. Well, obviously, Geo Prizms and Toyota Corollas are basically the same car, so yeah. Alright, well, that's how to do rotors on a Geo Prizm 93 to 97 or a Toyota Corolla. Basically, you just need a 14 millimeter and 17 millimeter sockets, a jack, and jack stands. Don't just use a jack, don't be a dumbass. And that's really all there is to it, unless you need a C-clamp for your caliper, like I said. Alright, hope this helps some people.